Good morning, folks. Again, we are starting at 9 a.m. this morning. Any private attorneys whom I've not checked in, please turn on your video camera and use the raise the hand icon. Any private attorneys on Zoom who I've not checked in, please turn on your camera and use the raise the hand icon.
me see here. Eric?
Hello?
Hold on a second, please. Hold on. I'm gonna get someone else's name. Eric? Eric?
Yes,
good morning.
can you hear me? How
Yeah,
you doing, Judge?
Very well. Can you remove your hat, please?
Yes, sir.
What is your full name, sir?
Eric Marquise Goins.
Eric Marquise Goins. All right. Good morning, Mr. Goins.
Good morning, Judge.
Let's get everybody in.
State of Michigan, 36th District Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Sean B. Perkins presiding. While court is in session, there will be no smoking, eating, drinking, sleeping, and or laying down. I will ask that if you have on any hats or hoodies, that you please remove them unless due to religious purposes. Thank you, everyone. Good morning to Judge. Good morning to everyone.
Bienvenidos, hola y buenos días a la Corte del Honorable Juez Sean B. Perkins. Mientras estemos en sesión, pedimos que por favor no estén ni comiendo, ni que estén durmiendo, ni recostados, que no estén fumando, que estén vestidos adecuadamente para estar en una corte, aunque estamos virtualmente, y que por favor no tengan gorra ni cachucha puesta, a menos que tengan una razón religiosa. Gracias y vuelvo y repito, bienvenidos a la Corte del Servicio Comunitario y bienvenido al juez. Good morning.
Buenos días. Gracias.
Morning.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm going to do the best I can to get you out as fast and efficiently as possible, and I'm going to try to get you out in the order that you came in.
Buenos días a todos. Voy a tratar de llamar los casos de la manera más rápida y eficiente posible. También voy a llamar los casos en el orden que se han presentado hoy.
All right, we're going to start this. I already have a hand raised.
Ya veo que tengo alguien que ha levantado la mano por el chat.
That's not the name. That's not the name of the gentleman.
Oh, okay. Good morning. What is the name of the gentleman?
Antonio Perez Ramirez.
You have to speak up. Oh, I see. Antonio Perez Ramirez.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
All right.
How are you this morning?
Yes.
Well,
You say Ms. Lopez?
no. I did say Ms. Lopez, but I was speaking to another Ms. Lopez. Yes. All right.
Good morning, folks. Once again, just a reminder, we will be starting at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. this morning. Any private attorneys
Yes, sir. Good
on
morning.
Zoom who've not
Evelyn
yet checked in,
Villarreal, certified
please turn
court
on your video
interpreter,
camera and
number
use the raise the hand icon.
C3822.
Can you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, sir.
You solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly, accurately, and impartially interpret the matter now before the court, not divulge confidential communication, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
You swear or affirm that to the best of your ability, you'll interpret from English to Spanish and Spanish to English.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Very well. And good morning, Ms. Hernandez. I don't know if you heard me earlier. I didn't know if you heard me say good morning to you earlier, but good morning to you.
Good morning, Your Honor. I was not fast enough to open my mic.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Ms. Hernandez, can you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Emma Hernandez, Your Honor, Spanish English interpreter.
All right, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly, accurately, and impartially interpret a matter now before the court and not divulge confidential communication, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
And do you swear or affirm that to the best of your ability, you'll interpret from English to Spanish and Spanish to English?
I do, Your Honor.
Very well. Let's start out with the city of Detroit versus Yamir Lasada. Case number SP 1632294, counts 1, 2, and 3 appearance for the record, please.
Comenzamos con el caso de la ciudad de Detroit versus Ymer Lozada. Números de caso SP1632294, cargos 1, 2 y 3. Diga su nombre, por favor.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Jimmy Rosada.
Good morning. My name is Ymer Lozada.
Good morning to you, Mr. Lasada. Today is the day and time set for a review.
Buenos días, usted, señor Lozada. Esta es la hora y el día que habíamos fijado para tener una revisión de su caso.
And you were ordered to do 100 hours of community service. I think you know why, right?
Your Honor, what did you say? That he was ordered to do 100 hours?
100 hours of community service, and he knows why. I think he knows why.
Así que, señor, usted, yo le había ordenado que cumpliera 100 horas de servicio comunitario y usted sabe la razón.
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to see that he's completed over 100. He's completed 103 hours of community service.
Y me alegro de ver que usted no tan solo cumplió las 100 horas de servicio comunitario, sino que hizo unas cuantas más. Usted cumplió 103 horas de servicio comunitario.
Was there some kind of fine that you were supposed to pay as well?
¿No había una multa que usted tenía que pagar también?
Sí, intenté pagarlo 3 veces, pero dijeron que solamente debía pagar $90.
Yes, and I tried to pay it 3 different times, but it kept saying that what I owed was 90.
What's his last name? Lasada?
Oh, the top, yeah.
LOSAD?
Okay, I don't think that money was in play. That's just something that's gonna be taken off once we close the case out.
Creo que ese número, esa cantidad es algo que se le va a sacar a usted una vez que todo ya haya hecho.
Tell me what you learned from this situation.
Dígame, ¿qué es lo que usted ha aprendido de esta situación?
Ser responsable, y aprender a manejar las cosas con precaución, tener todo legal.
Yes, I learned to be responsible, and I learned to handle things in a legal, responsible way, and also to comply with the law.
I hope so. I hope you really learned something because what you did was completely unacceptable, and I'm sure maybe some other judge would have handled it a whole lot differently and probably would have locked you up for it.
Bueno, ojalá que sí que usted haya aprendido eso, porque lo que usted hizo fue completamente algo que no puedo aceptar. Y creo que otro juez no se hubiera comportado como yo me comporté con usted, lo hubiera mandado a usted a la cárcel, si fuese otro juez.
Sí, sí, señor, es correcto y agradezco mucho de su ayuda también.
Yes, That is correct, sir, and I also appreciate all the help.
All right, what I'm gonna do is you completed the community service. I hope you really learned something from it. I'm gonna dismiss the misdemeanors and close out the civil infraction.
Muy bien, así que yo espero que usted verdaderamente haya aprendido algo de esto. Y reconociendo eso, le doy las gracias. Voy a desestimar los delitos menores y voy a cerrar los casos que eran infracciones civiles.
Muchas gracias. La verdad aprendí bastante y estoy muy agradecido.
The truth is I have learned and I'm very grateful.
All right, very well, sir. If there's nothing further, have a very good day and best of luck to you.
Muy bien, señor. Si no tiene nada más que agregar, le deseamos a usted un buen día y mucha suerte.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Hi, Judge. God bless you all.
Have a great day. All right,
Tenga
this is the
buen día.
city of Detroit versus Julian Angel Torres, case numbers SP 1670951, SP 1681664, counts 1 and counts 2. Appearance for the record, please.
Your Honor, where is he at? Please.
Second page, second page.
Any
I
other
saw
private
him
attorneys on Zoom? If
on,
so,
Good morning, Your
please
Honor.
turn on your video camera and use the raise the hand icon so that I
Do
can
you
check
need
it in.
interpreter? He does,
Once
he
again,
needs
we'll get
interpreter, Your
started at
Honor?
about 9 a.m.
Doesn't sound like it.
No, I don't need interpreter.
Okay, thank you.
Appearance for the record, please.
Elwood S. Berry Jr. on behalf of the defendant. State your full name, Mr. Torres.
Julian Angel Torres.
Your Honor, for purposes of arraignment, my client would waive the reading of the information and stand mute.
We'll enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf, give your client a $0 bond. Get your client an updated offer. Keep in mind, Mr. Torres, if you don't like the offer, you have an absolute right to a trial. I should have introduced the court today. We're in community court, so any plea will necessitate some community service. If you're not willing to do that community service, then we'll send you to your alphabet judge. I'm gonna put you in the breakout room with Mr. Berry, have a conversation with him, let us know what you want to do when you come out, all right? Mr. Berry, join the room, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is the city of Detroit versus Roderick Lewis Cochran Latney case, strike that, state of Michigan versus Roderick Lewis Cochran Latney, case number SX 3210677. Appearance for the record, please.
Yes.
Good morning, Your Honor. Chair Harris, P72832 on behalf of Mr. Latney. Please state your name for the record.
Roderick Lewis Cochran Latney.
And for purposes of arraignment, my client stands mute.
Defendant not guilty, Mr. Latney's behalf, given $0 bond. Mr. Latney, same thing, you have an absolute right.
All right, so we'll take Mr. Fife first. I'll do my read on, then we'll start with Mr. Fife, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning.
Morning. 1 second, Mr. Wheeler. Ms. Watkins, good morning. Which matter are you here for?
Good morning. Yesterday, I'm sorry for the appearance. I thought my camera would be off. Yesterday, I came for my sister And it says that she was reset to today's docket, but she called this morning and said they told her she doesn't have a court date.
It's
Her name's
Ashley Watkins.
Yes.
Okay, all right, she'll be towards the beginning of the docket.
Okay, so I should stay in, and because they didn't pick her up today. She's still at the jail, she said.
Right, so yeah, if you want to stay on to either listen to the hearing or if you're gonna speak, yeah, she's on page 1 of the docket. So we're gonna do private counsel first, and then we'll start with the beginning of the docket. So I'd say we'll probably take her within the next 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Can you ask her a question? I'm sorry.
Oh, Miss Watkins?
Yes.
Lost an iPod.
Oh, did you lose an iPod?
Oh, no, but thank you so much.
All right, no problem. The deputy wanted me to ask.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday, so. that's
Okay, thank you. All right, and then we have Mr. Collins, is that right?
Yes, Judge. Good morning. It's good
Good
news
morning.
to you, Judge. I'm Brad Collins on behalf of Mark Oliveira. I've spoken to,
Page 6 of the court docket, Judge.
Page
Right
s-
after.
page
Mr.
6.
Spike.
All right. Yep, got it. All right, so Mr. Collins, I'll pull Mr. Oliveira's paperwork. We're gonna take Mr. Wheeler's client momentarily, then we'll do Mr. Oliveira.
okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Judge, who's Mr. David Wheeler's client so I can get them ready?
Fife, FYFFE, page 6.
So Wheeler's representing Mr. Pike?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
understood.
yes.
Okay. That's your turn, Mr. Wheeler. Right corner.
All right, good morning, folks. I'm Judge Corey Friedman. This is First Appearance Court. The purpose of today's hearing is for you to be informed of the charges against you, for the court to determine if there's probable cause, determine bond, if any, and determine release conditions, if any. Please note, I've reviewed the arresting affidavits, the charging documents, and any other materials provided to me. After today, your case will be assigned to a specific division judge, and moving forward, any pretrial motions on any trial will be heard before your division judge. Any matters not addressed by the court today will be addressed by your division judge, and any matters that are addressed today can be readdressed by your division judge. If for some reason you're not eligible for bond at this time, you'll see your division judge for relief. Generally, I will not change out-of-county holds, out-of-state holds, immigration holds, holds based on violations of probation, community control, or parole, but I do look at each case independently. It's important that each of you understand today is not your trial date. Because of that, we're not going to be talking about the facts of your case. We're not going to be talking about the facts leading up to your arrest or any potential defenses. Additionally, I do understand that some defendants wish to speak on the record, and while that's okay, I strongly encourage that you talk to your attorney first, because these proceedings are being recorded, and as you've already been advised, you have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be used against you at a later date. If you're represented by the Public Defender's Office, attorneys from the Public Defender's Office are present in my courtroom and at some of your locations. If they are not physically present at the location where you are jailed, they should be available to you by phone. For those of you represented by private counsel, your attorneys may be present in the Zoom room or in my courtroom. Additionally, in the courtroom, we have representatives from the state's attorney's office, confinement status, pretrial supervision, and the clerk of courts. These individuals are here to facilitate the session and to provide the court with additional information as may be needed. Please note, I may take cases out of turn for certain reasons, including but not limited to the need for interpreters, security reasons, medical reasons, and because some attorneys need to be in other courtrooms. If I do take a case or cases out of turn, please don't think I'm doing it out of preference or for any other reason, folks. If you're in the gallery and wish to address the court, please check in with the deputy and let him know which matter you're here for. If you're only here to observe, there's no need for you to check in. Folks on Zoom, please be advised I control the mute button and will unmute you when it's your turn to address the court. If you're an attorney on Zoom and I haven't already checked you in, please turn on your video and use the raise the hand icon so that I can check you in. All others on Zoom, if you wish to address the court when a particular case is called, please turn on your video and use the raise the hand icon. Until your case is called, however, please keep your video off. If it is not off, I will turn it off when the session begins. If you're simply observing, likewise, please keep your video off. Please remember, folks, once again, today is not the trial date. If you do address the court, please try to limit your comments to considerations relating to bond and release conditions. And I know I've said this before, but it's certainly worth repeating. Everything is being recorded and can be used against you at a later date. With that, we will start first with Mr. Fife, and we have counsel Mr. Wheeler on Zoom.
Thank you, Judge.
Good morning, counsel. Good morning, Mr. Fife. You're charged with one count touch or strike battery, domestic violence. The court does find probable cause. I'll hear from the state and then we'll hear from Mr. Wheeler. State.
Recommending a $500 bond, no victim contact, and no return.
Mr. Wheeler.
We're fine with that, Judge. Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Fife, your bond will be $500. I'm also ordering no victim contact and no return. Good luck to you, Mr. Fife. Thank you, Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good morning.
You as well. And then let's go to Mr. Oliveira on page 6.
Good morning, Judge. Brad Collins on his behalf.
Good morning, counsel.
I believe the state had a recommendation. We spoke earlier this morning.
Okay, all right, that makes things a little bit easier. Good morning, Mr. Oliveira. You're charged with one count, battery causing bodily harm, dating violence. The court does find probable cause. State.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Collins reached out to me yesterday and we spoke again this morning. We have an agreement that's acceptable to the court. $1,000 bond, no victim contact. The state has no objection to Mr. Oliveira returning to the home, so long as the victim is not residing there.
All right, and Mr. Collins, is that accurate?
Yes, it is, Judge. My client works from home, and this couple was in the process of separating. It's my client's home. We don't know yet. The family has contacted me and notified me that they think that the person may have moved out, but we don't know. But I don't want him to lose any work. We're going to reach out, but very carefully. I won't have my client do it, but
Sure. All right.
you understand, Mr. Oliveira, what the terms are?
He's shaking his head in the affirmative.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so Mr. Oliveira, based on the representations of the state and the agreement with your counsel, your bond will be $1,000. I'm also ordering no victim contact. Good luck to you, sir.
Brad?
Yes.
Yeah, just make sure, just to cover ourselves, if his family's gonna be reaching out, that, if they want to talk about, residency or anything, that's fine. Just please ask them not to talk about anything having to do with the case itself.
Absolutely. We just wanted to check just to make sure he can get in there, and I'll be very careful about it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I wasn't worried about you. I just wanted to, cover ourselves there.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Judge. Good to see you.
All right, thank you, counsel. You as well. All right, let's start on page 1 then. We've got Maria Rosario.
Ms. Rosario, come on up, please. She's approaching, stand right next to me, ma'am.
Ms. Rosario, good morning, ma'am. You're charged with one count touch or strike battery, domestic violence. The court does find probable cause. State.
Recommending a $250 bond and no victim contact.
Defense.
Judge, I was going to be asking for the court to consider ROR and to allow victim contact. As the court is aware, this is we had the actual victim to the case, the son that was here before you yesterday on the misdemeanor resisting. I explained to the court it was his intention just to basically de-escalate the situation. He's not in fear, doesn't want to pursue charges, wants mom to come home. He's not in fear, Judge. Ms. Rosario, in speaking with her, that's where she lives. She lives with her adult son. We're asking at this time for the court to consider a straight ROR and to allow victim contact at this time.
State any and Mr. Romero, I do have my note on the bench from yesterday, so I have that when we spoke with the son. I do remember that. Is there any history, State?
Checking that right now.
Okay. All right. Ms. Rosario, at this time, I am going to ROR you. I'm not going to order no victim contact. Please check with the public defender's office. Please check with the clerk of courts to see if there's any future court events that you need to be present at. Good luck to you, ma'am. Page 1, we have Crystal Bond.
North Broward, Judge, NBB.
All right, North Broward. All right, Ms. Bond, good morning. You are charged with one count battery causing bodily harm, dating violence. The court does find probable cause. State.
Your Honor, recommending an ROR, no victim contact.
No objection.
No objection. All right. All right, Ms. Bond, I am going to release you on your own recognizance. I am ordering no victim contact at this time. Please check with the public defender's office. Please check with the clerk of courts to see if there's any future court events that you need to be present at. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, and then we have Ashley Watkins.
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan. All right, no problem. You're gonna, okay, because I think we have Miss Watkins' sister on the line as well. All right, so if you just speak with them, let me know. We'll put her on a brief recall. And then, am I correct on page 28, Vitalis is a refusal?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do that real quick, State.
And Your Honor, for the record, he is being represented by Johnny Weeks. I spoke to Mr. Weeks this morning.
Okay.
We're in agreement on a $2,500 bond and no victim contact.
All right, so for Mr. Vitalis, the court does find probable cause. Bond will be $2,500 and no victim contact. All right, page 2, we have Summer Krotz.
North Broward, NBV, Judge.
North Broward. All right, Ms. Krotz, good morning. You are charged with 1 count aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill and battery causing bodily harm, dating violence. The court does find probable cause. State.
Your Honor, recommending a $5,000 bond on one, a $2,000 bond on two. Your Honor, noting that this could be upfiled to a felony battery. She has a 2016 battery. Should she post bond pre-trial release with a substance abuse evaluation within 10 days of her release and follow all recommended treatment, random testing, no victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. She also has a 2008, 2 counts of uttering a forged instrument and theft, 2003 possession of heroin and DUI, and 2003 DUI property damage.
She's been residing in Broward County since she was 11 years old. She's currently employed in a restaurant. I know there were some priors mentioned, but in speaking to speaking to her, I was going to ask the court if she could, when she advised she could afford maybe 500, she put around there for bond. I was going to ask the court to consider 3,000 count 1 and 1,000 count 2.
All right, bond on count 1 will be $3,000. Bond on count 2 will be $1,000. She's ordered no firearms, weapons, ammunition, no victim contact, no return. I want her on pre-trial with a substance abuse evaluation within 10 days of release, random testing, and she's to follow all recommended treatment options from the substance abuse evaluation. All right, good luck to you, Ms. Krotz.
Your Honor, I'd like to defend it upon post and bond to report pre-trial by phone.
Ms. Krotz, would you mind coming back real quick?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to let you know that upon posting bond, so for example, if you post bond today by no later than 11 a.m. tomorrow, you have to report to pretrial. The deputy should give you a phone number, like on a slip of paper, and it's really, really important that you do that. If you don't call pretrial by 11 a.m. tomorrow, an order will be entered for you to be rearrested and picked up. We don't want that to happen. So please make sure you call pretrial no later than 11 a.m. The day following you bond out, all right?
Okay, so the bond, even if I don't bond out today, it has to be 11 a.m. within the following day.
Correct, but if you bond out on a Friday, then it would be Monday.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, man.
It'll be 700. 700.
All right, going back to page 2, we have Demetra Dasu.
She's here present, Judge Amin.
All right, good morning, ma'am. My apologies if I mispronounced your last name. Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. The court does find probable cause. State.
Recommending $3,500 bond, no victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
Defense?
Judge, as far as the special conditions, no objection whatsoever. My understanding, to be candid with the court, I haven't reviewed the PC affidavit, but my understanding, the alleged victim did not want to have Ms. Dusso arrested. Now, they do live separate and apart. She is a single mother raising her 2-year-old son. She just got a job about 1 month ago working at a restaurant, making about $16 an hour. Judge, when I spoke to her, she believed maybe her mom can help her out, and most of that she'll be able to pay us around a $2,500 bond. That is what we were going to be requesting, a $2,500 bond, Mr. So's behalf.
And just noting for the record, there is nothing in the report about the victim not wishing to prosecute, so I'd ask that the court not take that into consideration.
All right, at this time, bond will be $2,500. I'm ordering no victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Good luck to you, Ms. Dussault. All right, page 3, we have Ms. Custis.
Like this, come on up, ma'am. Approaching Judge Green.
All right, good morning, ma'am. You're charged, looks like you've got a misdemeanor capias for petty theft. The court does find probable cause. State?
There's no offer at this time. The resolution in this case will involve probation if she wishes to accept the state offer at that time.
All right, so you're just recommending the $250 bond in place?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, defense?
Judge, I spoke to Ms. Custis. She was interested in resolving. Obviously, there's no plea offer at this time. Considering this is a nonviolent charge, then we'd be asking the court to consider releasing her ROR today.
At state, was there also a no return?
I believe there originally was.
Okay, all right. All right, so the bond of $250 will remain in place, and no return. Good luck to you, Ms. Custis. Page 3, we have Ms. Jackson.
Ms. Jackson, come on up, please. Ms. Jackson is approaching, Judge.
And then state, I had a question on this one.
Yes, Your Honor.
On count 2, is that the 2 plastic containers? Or charge 2? Sorry. All right. Ms. Jackson, good morning. You're charged with 1 count possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less, 1 count drug paraphernalia, possession and or use, and 1 count of trespassing. The court does find probable cause. State?
Your Honor, if she wishes to resolve the matter, the state would know info counts 1 and 2 and offer an adjudication time served, no return on count 3.
Judge, I spoke to Ms. Jackson earlier today. That's exactly what she wishes to do. She wishes to resolve this matter today. In exchange for no contest plea, she wishes to accept the time served on count 3.
All right. So, Ms. Jackson, good morning. Can you please raise your right hand as best as you can? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Please state your full name for the record.
Ariana Jackson.
All right, Ms. Jackson, you're charged with 1 count possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less, 1 count drug paraphernalia, possession and or use, and 1 count of trespassing. In exchange for a plea, the offer from the state to resolve your case today would be the state no info in counts 1 and 2, and then an adjudication time served and no return on count 3. You'd also have 12 months to pay your court costs. Under those terms, do you wish to resolve your case?
Yes, sir.
Did your attorney answer all your questions?
Yes, sir.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No, sir.
Is anyone forcing, or threatening you to resolve your case?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or intoxicants?
No, sir.
Have you ever been treated for a mental or emotional illness?
No, sir.
Ms. Jackson, you have the right to require the state prove the charges against you, the right to defend the case by having a trial, calling witnesses, and taking an appeal. By taking a plea today, you're waiving those rights. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Jackson, I'm not asking if you're a U.S. citizen, but I'm required to let you know that if you're not a U.S. citizen, taking a plea today will be used against you in any deportation or other immigration proceeding. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, ma'am, if and only if in the past you've been previously convicted of a sexually motivated offense, this plea will be used against you in any involuntary civil commitment proceeding under the Jimmy Rice Act. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Jackson, do you understand everything we've discussed here today?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead?
No contest.
Court accepts your no contest plea. I find it's knowingly, freely, and voluntarily given. I do find a factual basis for the plea based upon the arrest information that I've reviewed. Your sentence in accordance with the plea agreement on count 3 is an adjudication, time served, no return to the specific address where this occurred. 12 months to pay your court costs. Additionally, the state will be no infoing counts 1 and 2.
Your Honor, and the state will announce on counts 1 and 2 under case number 25-3385, MM10A, count 1, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, count 2, possession of drug paraphernalia. State announces the no info. Ms. Ellis, if you could prepare a disposition on this case, please. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Jackson. All right, next on page 3, we have Carice Picard.
North Broward, NBB, Judge.
All right, North Broward.
Oh, okay.
All right, Ms. Picard, good morning. You have 2 misdemeanor capiases. One's a petty theft and the other is a suspended driver's license first offense. The court does find probable cause. State.
Your Honor, if Ms. Picard is interested in resolving these 2 cases, from the petty theft, the offer being adjudication, time served, no return to the Walmart at 301 South State Road 7 in Hollywood. On the DWLS case, the offer being adjudication, time served.
Judge, I did speak to Ms. Picard this morning, and she was interested in resolving her case for no contest.
All right, Ms. Picard, can you please raise your right hand as best as you can? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can put your hand down. Please state your full name for the record.
Carice Picard.
All right, Ms. Picard, you've been charged with 1 count of petty theft and then 1 count of suspended driver's license first offense. In exchange for a plea, the offer from the state to resolve your case today would be an adjudication, time served, no return to the Walmart at 301 South State Road 7 in Hollywood, and 12 months to pay your court costs. That's on the petty theft. As to the suspended driver's license, it would be an adjudication, time served, and 12 months to pay your court costs. Under those terms, ma'am, do you wish to resolve your cases today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did your attorney answer all of your questions?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
Is anyone forcing, coercing, or threatening you to resolve your case?
No.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or intoxicants?
No.
Have you ever been treated for a mental or emotional illness?
No.
Ms. Picard, you have the right to require the state prove the charges against you and the right to defend the case by having a trial, calling witnesses, and taking an appeal. By taking a plea today, you're waiving those rights. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Picard, I'm not asking if you're a U.S. citizen, but I'm required to let you know that if you're not a U.S. citizen, taking a plea today will be used against you in any deportation or other immigration proceeding. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, ma'am, if and only if in the past you've been previously convicted of a sexually motivated offense, this plea will be used against you in any involuntary civil commitment proceeding under the Jimmy Rice Act. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And Ms. Picard, do you understand everything we've discussed here today?
Pardon me?
Do you understand everything we've discussed here today?
Yes, sir.
All right. You could plead guilty to the charges, which means you're admitting them, or you could plead no contest. That means you're not admitting the charges. Really, it's just a plea of convenience. How do you wish to plead?
No contest.
The court accepts your no contest plea. I find it's knowingly, freely, and voluntarily given. I do find factual basis for the plea based upon the arrest information that I've reviewed. Your sentence in accordance with the plea agreement as to the petty theft is an adjudication, time served, no return to the Walmart at 301 South State Road 7 in Hollywood. As to the suspended driver's license, it's an adjudication, time served. You'll have 12 months to pay your court costs on each of these matters. Good luck to you, Ms. Picard.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to Ms. Watkins on page 1 at Paul Ryan. All right, Ms. Watkins? Yep. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
You are charged with 1 count touch or strike battery dating violence. The court does find probable cause. State
Recommending a $500 bond and no victim contact.
defense.
No objection, Judge.
All right, your bond, ma'am, will be $500. I'm also ordering no victim contact. Good luck to you, Ms. Watkins.
Okay, thank you.
Remember her sister was online.
Yeah, I don't know if she wished to speak.
okay.
Yeah, I think, and I don't think she was the victim.
Okay.
No.
Right. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, page 4, we have Rodriguez, last name Rodriguez and state. I had a question on one.
She's here at Maine. If we can put her on recall, she requires a Spanish interpreter. The interpreter's office is on the way.
Spanish, all right. And I'm gonna ask the state on one, should it have been unoccupied?
I was just gonna say burglary of the dwelling, Your Honor.
Okay, bird dwelling.
That way it's covered either way.
All right. All right, so I'll make the note when we address Ms. Rodriguez, then we have the interpreter. All right, page 5, we have Jennifer Balch.
She is at North Broward, NBB judge.
North Broward. All right, North Broward, do we have Ms. Balch? All right, Ms. Balch, good morning. You're charged with 1 count possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. You also have a municipal ordinance violation, no lodging on city-owned property. The court does find probable cause. We'll deal with the state charge first on 1.
Recommend $500 bond.
And defense?
She advised that she's a lifelong resident of Broward County. She's currently unemployed. She advised she's residing with her sister in Hollywood. And she does have a phone. We were gonna ask the court for free trial.
She's not a good candidate for free trial. The defendant has an extensive history of failure to appear. Last year, she was arrested on 2 failures to appear last year.
So far, Your Honor, since 2017, I'm at 5 prior arrests for failing to appear in court.
Okay, all right. All right, as to count 1, bond will be $500. As to count 2, Ms. Carr.
Yes, Your Honor, she was interested in resolving the municipal ordinance. If Your Honor would allow her to do that, then she would like to enter no contest plea. I do have an address of no return if Your Honor is going to extend an offer.
Okay.
It's 2640 North State Road 7 in Hollywood.
All right. Ms. Balch, as to count 2, the municipal ordinance, capias, I'd be offering an adjudication, time served, no return to 2640 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, and 12 months to pay court costs. Under those terms, ma'am, do you want to take a plea?
Yes.
All right, as best as you can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. Please state your full name for the record.
Jennifer Lynn Balch.
All right, Ms. Balch, you have a municipal ordinance violation for lodging on city-owned property. In exchange for a plea, the court is offering an adjudication, time served, no return to 2640 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, 12 months to pay your court costs. Under those terms, you wish to resolve your case?
Yes.
Has your attorney answered all your questions?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
Is anyone forcing, coercing, or threatening you to resolve your case?
No.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or intoxicants?
No.
Have you ever been treated for a mental or emotional illness?
No.
You have the right to require the state prove the charges against you and the right to defend the case by having a trial, calling witnesses, and taking an appeal. By taking a plea today, you're waiving those rights. You understand that?
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm not asking if you're a U.S. citizen, but I'm required to let you know that if you're not a U.S. citizen, taking a plea today will be used against you in any deportation or other immigration proceeding. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Similarly, if and only if in the past you've been previously convicted of a sexually motivated offense, this plea will be used against you in any involuntary civil commitment proceeding under the Jimmy Rice Act. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And do you understand everything we've discussed here today?
Yes.
How do you wish to plead?
No contest.
Court accepts your no contest plea. I find it's freely, knowingly, and voluntarily given. I do find a factual basis for the plea based upon reviewing the arrest information. Your sentence in accordance with the plea agreement is an adjudication, time served, no return to 2640 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. You'll also have 12 months to pay your court costs. Good luck to you, Ms. Balch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Page 5, we have Shimona Bailey.
Judge, pursuant to my conversation, I'm waiving her appearance, but requesting a medical and a mental health screening order.
All right, the court does find probable cause, state 1,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Bond will be 1,000. I'm granting the request for the medical and mental health screening. On 6, we have Demetrius Jones.
Mr. Jones, come on up, please. He's approaching Judge Yermaine.
Mr. Jones, good morning, sir. You're charged with 1 count touch or strike battery, domestic violence, 1 count resisting an officer obstruction without violence. The court does find probable cause, state.
Recommending 500 on each count, no victim contact. Victim advised law enforcement that she wishes to prosecute.
All right, defense.
Judge, no objection, requesting a mental health screening order on Mr. Jones' behalf.
All right, bond will be 500 on each count. No victim contact, and I'm granting the mental health screening. Good luck to you, sir. All right, page 6, we have Mr. Masood.
He's approaching, Judge. Come on up, sir.
All right, good morning, sir. You're charged with 1 count touch or strike battery. The court does find probable cause, state.
Recommending a $500 bond, no victim contact.
Defense.
Judge, no objection, requesting a photo order.
All right, your bond, sir, will be $500. I'm also ordering no victim contact and granting the request for the photo order. Good luck to you, sir. Bobby Hanna.
Judge, I've been advised by the deputies to decide to go back.
So refusal.
Yes, Judge.
All right. The court does find probable cause, state.
Recommending bonds in the amount of 5,000 on 1, 7,500 on 2. Should she post bond pretrial release with the GPS monitor level 2? No victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Your Honor, my office had contact with the alleged victim. She wishes to prosecute. She is in fear. He's currently being held. Strong arm robbery and aggravated battery, $25,000 each. Pretrial GPS level 2. He refused to appear before the court for that first appearance. He also has a pending red theft battle.
All right, so it'll be 5,000 on 1, 7,500 on 2, pretrial release with a GPS level 2, no victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
That's on the Spanish interpreter.
So we're waiting for Spanish on the next. That's for the victim.
Yes.
Next, we have
Yeah.
Anthony.
Arabella?
No, we're waiting for a Spanish interpreter on Aravello for the victim. Next, we have Savidra.
Medical reset.
Savedra is medical reset, Judge.
We have Mr. Butler, page 7.
Your Honor,
Butler?
Tyler Schneider next.
Okay, we'll do Schneider right after.
Okay.
It was attached. Mr. Butler, good morning, sir. You're charged with 1 count aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, and 2 counts aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. The court does find probable cause, state.
Your Honor, recommending bonds in the amount of $50,000 per count. Should Mr. Butler post bond pretrial release with a GPS monitor level 1? No victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Your Honor, based on the allegations, it would appear on more than one occasion, he has not only threatened his family, including his parents, with a firearm, but he's actually fired multiple rounds at his father. All of this occurring while Mr. Butler is out right now on bond for aggravated assault of a law enforcement officer.
All right, I've heard the state's recommendation. Defense.
Judge, Mr. Butler is 24 years old. He is working. He works at a car wash. He advised me he gets about $500 a week. So obviously he's not going to be able to pay a $150,000 bond. I did advise him, due to the nature of the allegations, most likely that the state would be recommending a GPS monitor. Since he is working, we'd ask the court to consider a level 2 pretrial on Mr. Butler's behalf.
All right, at this time, and I have heard the state's recommendations. I do not agree with them. Bond on each count will be $100,000. No victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, and ammunition. If he does bond out, he'll be on a pretrial GPS level 1. Tyler Schneider.
Mr. Schneider, come on in, please.
Mr. Schneider, you're charged with 1 count domestic battery by strangulation, 1 count battery causing bodily harm, domestic violence. The court does find probable cause. State. And then right after this, we'll go with the Spanish interpreter.
Your Honor, the state is recommending a $50,000 bond on count 1, a $10,000 bond on count 2. Should he post bond, pretrial release, GPS level 2, no victim contact, no return to the incident location, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Your Honor, this is based on the level of violence alleged in the report. I would note the alleged victim answered yes to 2 of the lethality questions. Additionally, Mr. Schneider has an arrest last year for domestic violence battery against the same alleged victim. That was dropped. He also was charged and pled out to violating the no contact order in that case, obviously against the same alleged victim. He also has a 2023 arrest for domestic violence battery by strangulation and battery against the same alleged victim. Those charges were dropped.
All right, defense.
Judge, I spoke to Mr. Schneider. He's been a lifelong resident here in South Florida. He works. He's employed at Port Everglades. Been there about 2 years, making about $1,000 a week. Now, my understanding, him and the alleged victim do reside together. He's going to find a separate place where to reside. He's going to try and reach out to friends, see if they can help post his monetary bond. Based on what he advised me, Judge, we were going to be asking for the court to consider a $7,500 bond on count 1, $1,000 on count 2, so a total of $8,500 is what we're requesting on Mr. Schneider's behalf.
Bond on count 1 will be $50,000. Bond on count 2 will be $10,000. No firearms, weapons, or ammunition. No victim contact. No return. And pretrial with a GPS level 2. And then we have the Spanish interpreter.
Yes.
All right. Good morning. Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to interpret from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you. All right, we have Ms. Rodriguez, is that right, Mr. Romero?
Yes, Judge.
All right.
Page 4, yes.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, good morning. Can you please confirm that you can hear and understand the Spanish interpreter?
Señora Rodríguez, buenos días. ¿Puede usted confirmar que escucha y entiende al intérprete de español?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, you're charged with 1 count burglary, occupied dwelling, unarmed, which the state has asked the court to change to just burglary of a dwelling, so I've done that.
Bien, señora Rodríguez, usted se le acusó de escalamiento de una estructura no ocupada, sin arma de fuego, pero la fiscalía me ha solicitado que se modifique a escalamiento sencillo.
You also have a probation violation or community control violation for which there's a no bond hold.
También tiene un incumplimiento o una violación de probatoria.
And then you also have a violation of probation, which looks like an ROR. Is that correct, Steve?
That's actual with RR, yes.
And that'll be an ROR. Okay.
Y también tiene otra orden de arresto en la que se le dejó libre bajo palabra por violación de su probatoria.
The court does find probable cause.
El tribunal encuentra que existe causa probable.
State.
Dalia.
Recommending a $20,000 bond on 1, no victim contact, no return.
Recomendamos $20,000 de fianza por la primera denuncia, no regresar al lugar de los hechos y no tener contacto con la víctima.
Noting, as Your Honor already stated, she's on probation for grand theft.
Y hay que observar, ya como lo pudo notar su señoría, que ella está en probatoria por hurto mayor.
I would also note, the home she allegedly broke into is being targeted by people, Your Honor, repeatedly breaking into the elderly victim's home.
Y debo también subrayar, señoría, que el hogar al que ella escaló es uno que ha sido repetidamente objeto de escalamientos de unas personas ancianas que viven ahí.
There are at least 6 documented burglaries to this home.
Existen por lo menos 6 escalamientos documentados a este hogar en particular.
Reported in just over the past 3 weeks.
Y eso ha sido en las últimas 3 semanas, nada más.
Nothing further.
Nada adicional.
Defense?
Defensa.
Judge, my understanding of speaking Ms. Rodriguez, she's been residing here for over 14 years now.
Señoría, luego de conversar con la señora Rodríguez, debo decir que ella lleva más de 14 años viviendo aquí.
She works for a cleaning business where she's been employed for the past 2 years.
Ella trabaja para una empresa de limpieza para la cual ha estado trabajando en los últimos 2 años.
She advised me she makes about $400 a week.
Indica que devenga $400 semanales.
Based on her income, we were going to be requesting the court consider $10,000 as count one.
Basado en sus ingresos, íbamos a recomendarle al tribunal que impusiera una fianza de $10,000 por la primera denuncia.
All right, bond on count 1 will be $15,000, 15.
Bien, la fianza por la primera denuncia será de $15,000, 15.
She has a no bond hold on 2.
Tiene una orden de que no se le conceda fianza por la segunda denuncia.
And ROR on 3.
Y se le deja libre bajo palabra en la tercera denuncia.
I'm also ordering no victim contact and no return to this location.
También ordeno que no haga contacto con la víctima ni que regrese a este lugar.
All right, good luck to you.
Buena suerte, Donna.
And then we have on, yes, go ahead, Mr. Romero.
I believe you said the victim needed a translator, Mr. Orlando Arevalo, on page 6.
That's correct.
Me parece que usted indicó que la víctima necesita un intérprete para el caso del señor Arevalo, en la página número 6.
Mr. Arevalo, good morning, sir.
Buenos días, señora Arevalo. Good morning.
All right, Mr. Arevalo, you're charged with 1 count touch or strike battery.
Señora Arevalo, a usted se le acusa de una denuncia de tocar o golpear.
The court does find probable cause.
El tribunal encuentra que existe causa probable.
And I do believe we have somebody here who wishes to speak on the record.
Y me parece que tenemos aquí a alguien que desea dirigirse al tribunal para fines del acta.
All right, ma'am, you wish to speak on the record?
Dama, ¿desea usted hablar para que conste en acta? Yes, I would like to speak for my husband, Orlando Arevalo.
All right, can you please raise your right hand?
Muy bien, ¿puede por favor levantar la mano derecha?
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Jura usted o afirma decir la verdad y nada más que la verdad? Yes, I do.
Can you please state your full name for the record?
¿Puede por favor dar su nombre completo para el acta? My name is Clara Inés Morera.
Miss Morella, did you call the police on March 25th?
Señora Morera, ¿llamó usted a la policía el 25 de marzo? Yes, I did call them.
All right, what was the reason that you called the police?
¿Cuál fue la razón por la cual usted llamó a la policía? I called them because my husband pushed me. He pushed me.
Has there ever been any violence between you and your husband in the past?
En el pasado, ¿ha habido algún acto de violencia entre usted y su esposo? No, there hasn't been.
How long,
He's a good husband and he's a good dad.
how long have you all been married?
¿Cuánto tiempo llevan ustedes de casados? We've been married for 48 years.
Did you ever tell the police yesterday that your husband struck you on the left shoulder with a closed hand while holding a cell phone?
Le dijo usted a la policía ayer que su esposo la golpeó ayer en el hombro izquierdo con la mano cerrada con un celular. Yes, with the cell phone. I had it on my hand and he grabbed it and then he did like so.
All right. Are you in fear?
¿Tiene usted temor? No, I have no fear.
All right, State, do you have any questions for,
And I need him.
do you have any questions for the victim?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para la víctima?
No, Judge.
No, juez.
All right, defense, do you have any questions for the victim?
Defensa, ¿tiene usted alguna pregunta para la víctima? No, pues.
All right. Ma'am, is there anything else at this time you'd like to add?
Dama, ¿hay algo más que desee usted añadir en estos momentos? I don't want anything else or to say anything else. I just want him to come back.
Okay, all right, I've heard you. I'm gonna hear from the state at this time, and then I'm gonna hear from the defense.
Voy a escuchar ahora de parte de la fiscalía en estos momentos y luego escucharé de la defensa.
All right, State,
Fiscalía,
Recommending a $500 bond and no victim contact.
recomendamos una fianza de $500 que no tenga contacto con la víctima.
defense,
Defensa.
Judge, my understanding is Mr. Waller, he's been residing in our community for well over 30 years.
Señoría, si entendí bien en la conversación con el señor Arévalo, él lleva residiendo aquí más de 30 años.
My understanding, Judge, him and the alleged victim have been together for about 45 years now.
Y yo entiendo que él y la víctima llevan a estas alturas como 45 años juntos.
They live together, they are married, Judge.
Viven juntos, están casados, señoría.
My understanding, Mr. Ravello has a clean criminal history. He's a registered voter in our community.
Tengo entendido que el señor Arévalo no tiene antecedentes o los antecedentes están limpios y es un elector de nuestra comunidad.
My understanding, you've heard from the victim under oath, she is not in fear. She wants contact with Mr. Aravallo.
Me parece que usted escuchó a la víctima y indicar que ella no teme y que desea tener contacto con el señor Arévalo.
Based on that, we'd be asking for the court to consider an ROR and to allow victim contact.
Basado en lo anterior, estaríamos solicitando que el tribunal lo deje libre bajo palabra y que le permita contacto con la víctima.
all right, at this time, sir, your bond is $250.
Bien, señor. En estos momentos la fianza suya será de $250.
At this time, I am not ordering no victim contact.
Y en estos momentos no voy a ordenar que no tenga contacto con la víctima.
Good luck to you folks.
Le deseo buena suerte a ambos. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Judge, the next gentleman that's going to require Spanish interpreter, I believe, is on page 19 of the court's docket. His name is Mr.
Morales?
Samuel Morales Garces. Mr. Garces?
All right, good morning, sir. Can you please confirm that you can hear and understand the Spanish interpreter?
Muy bien, buenos días, señor. ¿Puede usted, por favor, confirmar que escucha y entiende al intérprete?
Sí.
Yes.
Sir, you're charged with one count of kidnapping,
Se le acusa de una denuncia de rapto,
one count robbery without a firearm or weapon,
una denuncia de robo o asalto sin un arma
and one count of grand theft auto.
y una denuncia de hurto mayor de un vehículo.
The court does find probable cause.
El tribunal encuentra que existe causa probable.
State your recommendations.
Fiscalía, las recomendaciones.
Good morning, Judge. Recommending
Buenos días, señoría.
ASA Carter Bryson for the record. Recommending a no bond on one, recommending $15,000 on two, and recommending that the $2,500 bond remain in place on three with no victim contact, no return to the incident location, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
Señoría, recomendamos que por la primera denuncia no se imponga fianza.
All right.
Por
Good,
la segunda denuncia, $15,000 de fianza. Y por la tercera, que permanezca la fianza de $2,500 en vigor. También solicitamos que el tribunal emita una orden para no tener contacto con la víctima, no regresar al lugar del incidente y no estar en posesión de armas de fuego ni de otras o municiones.
all right. Good morning, counsel. Defense?
Buenos días, abogados. Defensa.
Judge, my understanding, and speaking to Mr. Morales, he advised me he has one prior contact with the criminal justice system. I believe it's a driving offense. And based on that, he is asking the court to consider setting a reasonable bond in reference to count one.
Señoría, acabo de conversar con el imputado en este caso y él me indica que no tiene antecedentes penales salvo una infracción de tránsito y por lo tanto me está solicitando que le pida al tribunal que le imponga una fianza más razonable en cuanto a la segunda denuncia.
State, am I correct?
Judge, if the court is not inclined, then I'm going to be invoking his right to remain silent and not be questioned by law enforcement. I'm going to be asking that the Office of the Public Defender be provisionally appointed.
Y señoría, si el tribunal no estuviese inclinado a conceder lo solicitado, entonces voy a invocar el derecho que tiene el acusado de permanecer en silencio y que solamente pueda entrevistarlo los funcionarios de orden público en presencia de un abogado y además que el tribunal designe provisionalmente a la Defensoría Pública para representarlo.
And state, am I correct? We had a co-defendant yesterday.
Fiscalía, estoy en lo cierto cuando digo que hubo un coacusado en el día de ayer.
Yes, Judge, that's correct. His bond was set no bond.
Sí, juez, eso es correcto y no se le fijó fianza.
All right, at this time, sir, as to count one, I am going to hold you no bond.
Bien, señor, en cuanto a la primera denuncia, no le impongo fianza.
Count two will be $15,000.
La segunda denuncia será de 15, fianza será, la segunda denuncia será de $15,000 de fianza.
Count three will be $2,500.
La tercera denuncia será de $2,500.
I'm ordering no victim contact, no return, and no firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
Ordeno que no tenga contacto con la víctima, que no regrese al lugar del incidente y que no tenga posesión de armas de fuego ni ninguna otra arma.
And I am provisionally appointing the public defender's office.
Y estoy designando la oficina de la Defensoría Pública de forma provisional.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Judge, the next gentleman that's going to request Spanish interpreter is on the same page bottom, Mr. Gabino Garcia Martinez.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you please confirm that you can hear and understand the Spanish interpreter?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Puede usted confirmar que escucha y entienda al intérprete de español?
Sí.
Yes.
Sir, you're charged with one count grand theft between $750 and $5,000. The court does find probable cause.
Señora, usted se le acusa de una denuncia de hurto mayor en propiedad valorada entre los $750 y menos de 5,000. Encontramos causa probable.
State your recommendations.
Fiscalía.
Recommending $1,000 on one and a no return to the incident location.
Recomendamos fianza de $1,000 por la primera denuncia y que no regrese al lugar del incidente.
Defense.
Judge, no objection, requesting a phone order.
Señoría, no hay reparo y solicitamos una orden para acceder al teléfono.
All right, bond will be $1,000 with an order of no return, and I'm also granting the request for the phone order.
Muy bien, estamos fijando una fianza de $1,000 por la primera denuncia y también emito una orden para que tenga acceso a su teléfono.
That's the next gentleman that's going to require Spanish interpreters on page 20, Mr. Joel Valdez Perez.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you please confirm that you can hear and understand the Spanish interpreter?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Puede usted confirmar que escucha y entiende al intérprete de español? Yes.
Sir, you're charged with 1 count trespassing, unoccupied structure, conveyance, 1 count possession of methamphetamine. The court does find probable cause.
Señor, se le acusa de una denuncia de ingresar sin autorización y ocupar una estructura sin ocupantes o un vehículo, y también se le acusa de posesión de metanfetaminas. El tribunal encuentra causa probable.
State your recommendation.
Fiscalía, recomendación.
Recommending $500 bond on one, $1,000 on two, and a no return.
Recomendamos una fianza de $500 por la primera denuncia, $1,000 de fianza por la segunda denuncia y una orden para que no regrese al lugar.
All right, defense.
Defensa.
No objection.
No hay reparo, señoría.
Bond will be $500 on count 1 with an order of no return, 1,000 on 2.
La fianza por la primera denuncia será de $500 con una orden de no regresar al lugar y por la segunda denuncia $1,000 de fianza.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Judge, the next gentleman that's going to require Spanish interpreters on page 30, Mr. Alberto Peebles. One moment, Judge, he's approaching, he's in a wheelchair.
Your Honor, he's also on page. I don't know if the paperwork for the ad charge was attached to your paperwork. He is also on page 9.
Yeah, I've got it here.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Feebles, good morning. Can you please confirm that you can hear and understand the Spanish interpreter?
Señor Febles, buenos días. ¿Puede usted, por favor, confirmar que entiende que escucha y entiende al intérprete de español?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, we're here on a 24-hour perfection from yesterday.
Bien, nos encontramos hoy aquí para una perfección del día de ayer de 24 horas.
Sir, you're charged with 1 count aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and you also have a no bond immigration hold. The court does find probable cause.
Caballero, se le acusa de una denuncia de agresión agravada utilizando un arma mortal y también tiene usted una orden de detención de las autoridades de inmigración sin fianza.
State your recommendation.
Contra causa probable. I'm sorry, Judge.
State your recommendation.
Fiscalía, recomendación.
Your Honor, the court now having found probable cause on a forcible felony.
Señoría, habiendo el tribunal ahora encontrado causa probable en lo que es un delito grave,
Your Honor, and considering his immigration detainer from Homeland Security.
Y también, señoría, tomando en cuenta la orden de detención de las autoridades de inmigración.
Noting that there are already ongoing removal proceedings against Mr. Febles.
Y observando que existen ya unos procedimientos para la remoción o deportación del señor Febles.
Your Honor, the state would argue based on the preponderance of the evidence that he should be deemed an unauthorized alien.
La Fiscalía argumenta que este tribunal debe tomar en consideración que es un indocumentado sin autorización de estar en Estados Unidos, basado en la preponderancia de la prueba.
Your Honor, I can advise the court as an officer of the court.
Puedo dejar de saber al tribunal como un oficial de este tribunal.
That Mr. Febles entered the country on August 19th of last year.
El señor Febles ingresó a nuestro país el 19 de agosto del año pasado.
His point of entry was Brownsville, Texas.
Su punto de ingreso fue Brownsville, Texas.
His entry was documented under Section 212 of the Immigration and Nationality Act.
Su ingreso fue documentado de conformidad con la sección 212 de la ley de inmigración,
which designated him as an inadmissible alien.
que en su momento lo designó como un indocumentado inadmisible.
I would argue under a Florida statute that there is a presumption that Mr. Febles poses a significant flight risk.
Argumentaría bajo la ley estatal de la Florida que existe una presunción de que el señor Febles es un riesgo de fuga.
And that pursuant to the statute, the court ordered him to be held no bond.
Y que de conformidad con dicho estatuto, que el tribunal lo mantenga detenido sin derecho a fianza.
With conditions of no victim contact.
Y con la condición de que no tenga contacto con la víctima.
No firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
No tenga posesión de armas de fuego, municiones.
I would also just note, as far as the strength of the evidence.
Y debo subrayar en cuanto a la validez probatoria de la prueba.
Based on the victim and witness testimony.
Basado en el testimonio de la víctima y de testigos.
And video evidence.
Y prueba videográfica.
That Mr. Febles, his attack of the victim was unprovoked.
Que el ataque del señor Febles contra la víctima fue sin provocación.
That even after the victim brandished his firearm in self-defense.
Y que aun cuando la víctima blandió su arma de fuego en autodefensa,
Mr. Febles continued to charge at him with a knife.
El señor Febles continuó su acometimiento con un cuchillo,
which resulted in the victim lawfully shooting Mr. Febles in self-defense.
Lo cual resultó en que la víctima le disparara un tiro al señor Febles en defensa propia.
But even then, his aim was just to stop him and not to kill him.
Pero aún así, la intención en la puntería no era la de matarlo, sino detenerlo.
Which is further evidenced by where Mr. Febles was shot.
Y eso se evidencia aún más por el lugar en el que dispararon al señor Febles.
All right, defense.
Judge, first, as far as the state's request to hold Mr. Feebles no bond, the defense would be objecting to that request?
Señoría, primeramente, en cuanto a la solicitud de la Fiscalía de mantener al señor Febles detenido sin fianza, tenemos reparos.
My understanding, they're basing their whole argument on him having an immigration detainer.
Tengo entendido que están fundamentando todo su argumento en la orden de detención de las autoridades de inmigración.
Now, my understanding, speaking Mr. Feebles, he entered the country in August of last year.
Y tengo entendido que el señor Febles ingresó a la nación en agosto del año pasado.
My understanding, he's from Cuba and he was granted asylum here.
Tengo entendido que él es oriundo de Cuba y que se le concedió asilo.
My understanding, he was given 2 years permission to reside in this country.
Tengo entendido que se le concedieron 2 años para residir en este país.
He was given a social security number and he receives Medicaid, Judge.
Se le concedió un seguro social, un número de seguro social y Medicare, pues.
My understanding, he works with his family installing windows. He makes approximately $600 a week.
Tengo entendido que él trabaja con la familia instalando o reparando ventanas y que devenga $600 semanales.
Now, I spoke to Mr. Feebles. He advised me he was defending himself.
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
I spoke with Mr. Feebles and he advised me that he was defending himself.
Conversé con el señor Febles y él me indicó que él se estaba defendiendo.
Obviously, from what I heard, Mr. Lunder, he is advising the court that the victim was defending himself, and that's why he shot Mr. Feebles.
Obviamente, por lo que escuché del señor Lender, la víctima alega que se estaba defendiendo a sí misma y por eso disparó contra el señor Febles.
Now, my understanding, Judge, Mr. Feebles was shot not only one, but 3 times.
Yo tengo entendido, señoría, que al señor Febles le dispararon no solo una vez, sino 3 veces.
As a result, he was hospitalized.
Como resultado de eso, fue hospitalizado.
Judge, based on the fact that I do not believe that the state has met their burden, I'm asking at this time for the court to set a reasonable bond as to Mr. Feebles.
Y señoría, basado en el hecho de que yo entiendo que la fiscalía no ha cumplido con el peso de la prueba que le corresponde en este asunto, le pido al tribunal que le conceda una fianza razonable al señor Febles.
Judge, we'd also be requesting a photo order.
¿A what order?
Photo.
A photo. También solicitamos, señoría, una orden para la toma de fotos.
And of course, we'd be objecting the court taking into account the immigration detainer, Judge, as far as we'd be objecting its hearsay.
Y también estamos objetando a la solicitud que está basada en la orden de detención de inmigraciones, porque hasta lo que sabemos, esa prueba es prueba de referencia.
State, any response?
¿Alguna respuesta, fiscalía?
I'm not asking Your Honor just to take either the victim's word or Mr. Febles' word as far as self-defense.
Señoría, yo no le estoy solicitando que este tribunal le tome la palabra a la víctima ni a la defensa en cuanto a los alegatos de defensa propia.
I'm asking the court to consider the video footage that the detective observed.
Yo le estoy pidiendo al tribunal que tome en cuenta el pietaje del video que los funcionarios de orden público tomaron en cuenta y presenciaron.
This incident began in the back of the backyard.
Este incidente comenzó en el patio.
The video is facing towards the driveway of the street area.
El video va dirigido al camino al garaje.
The victim comes into the footage first.
La víctima aparece en el video primero,
which would support the allegation that he is backing away from Mr. Febles.
Lo cual apoya las conclusiones de que la víctima está alejándose del señor Febles.
It is reasonable to believe that Mr. Febles, as the victim advised, is still proceeding towards him with the knife.
Y también es razonable concluir que, según ha dicho la víctima, que el señor Febles le continúa acercándosele a la víctima.
This is when on video Mr. Febles fires multiple times, and as he claims in self-defense, not Mr. Febles, the victim.
Y es en ese momento en que la víctima dispara múltiples veces en su reclamación de autodefensa.
And Mr. Febles' response, even while being shot at, isn't to run for cover or to protect himself.
Y la respuesta del señor Febles, a pesar de haber sido disparado, no es la de huir ni la de tomar ni la de cubrirse,
but to continue chasing the victim with the knife.
Pero sino la de continuar persiguiendo a la víctima con el cuchillo.
It is at that point that he is shot.
Y es en ese momento que recibe un tiro.
Your Honor, as far as the unauthorized alien argument,
señoría, en cuanto al argumento sobre ser un forastero no autorizado,
it is not that I am just relying upon the detainer, the fact that there is a detainer.
no está fundamentado únicamente en que yo me esté fiando basado en la orden de detención,
I'm relying upon the information contained in the immigration detainer.
sino que me estoy fiando en la información contenida en la orden de detención de inmigración.
An immigration officer that is authorized per statute
Un agente de aduanas e inmigración que está autorizado de conformidad a la ley
to investigate
a llevar a cabo investigaciones
and make such a determination
y a llegar a tales decisiones.
has advised that they have made such a determination
Y se nos ha indicado que ellos llegaron a dichas conclusiones o decisiones.
and advised how they were able to make such a determination.
Y también han indicado cómo es que han llegado a dichas decisiones,
Making a biometric confirmation of his identity
mediante una confirmación biométrica de su identidad
and a records check of federal database.
y una verificación de los expedientes que obran en el sistema o banco de datos.
The only rebuttal Mr. Romero is offering is Mr. Fedless's say-so.
La única reputación que ofrece el señor Romero está basado en lo que le dice el señor Febles.
Nothing further.
Nada más adicional.
All right. At this time,
Pues,
If I may, just since Mr. Lunder brought up that I have a rebutted, Judge, it is the state's burden, and I believe they haven't met the burden, so I don't have to say anything at this time.
señoría, solamente quiero decir, ya que lo trajo a colación el señor Leonard, que yo argumento que la fiscalía no ha cumplido con el peso de la prueba que le corresponde a la fiscalía. Yo no tengo ningún peso de prueba que establecer. Yo me puedo permanecer en silencio.
all right.
And I believe the state is making a false argument, Judge. They're relying on biometrics identifier. We're not denying that this is Mr. Feebles. We stipulate to that. This is Mr. Feebles, and that detainer is referenced to him.
Y entendemos que la fiscalía está fundamentando sus argumentos o su posición en unos argumentos falsos, basado en información biométrica sobre la identidad del señor Febles. Nosotros no estamos negando la identidad del señor Febles, por el contrario, podemos estipular que se trata del señor Febles.
But the document does not state he is an unauthorized alien.
Pero el documento no indica en ningún lugar que él sea un forastero no autorizado a estar en Estados Unidos.
So therefore, they haven't introduced anything in the record to support their verdict.
Por lo tanto, ellos no han planteado nada en el acta que obra ante el tribunal para sostener sus solicitudes.
All right.
Muy bien.
I've reviewed all the probable cause information. I've reviewed the detainer, which does state that there is an active removal proceeding underway.
He revisado toda la información que aparece en la ficha. He revisado la orden de detención y también he revisado que indica que hay un procedimiento en vigor para la remoción del señor Febles.
There is a probable cause affidavit signed, which is attached to the immigration paperwork.
Hay un affidavit de causa probable que forma parte del expediente ante el tribunal.
I do find that the state has met its burden.
Determino que la fiscalía sí ha cumplido con el peso de la prueba que le corresponde.
The defendant's objection is noted for the record.
Se toma en cuenta para que se anote y conste en acta la objeción que plantea la defensa.
I am going to hold Mr. Feebles no bond at this time.
Voy a mantener detenido al señor Peble en estos momentos sin fianza.
In addition, I'm ordering no victim contact, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition, and I am granting the request for the photo order.
También ordeno que no tenga contacto con la víctima, que no tenga posesión de armas de fuego, municiones, ni armas de otra índole. y también estoy concediendo la orden para que se le tomen fotos.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Judge, I believe there's one last gentleman that requires a Spanish interpreter.
Okay, and who's that, Mr. Romero?
I believe there's one more person that requires a Spanish interpreter, Judge.
And which page is that individual on?
And looking right now for page 4, 12, Judge, page 12, Mr. Mateo de la Ruiz, Judge. He speaks English, but he feels more comfortable since the Spanish interpreter is here. That is why he just wanted to go with the Spanish interpreter, Judge.
All right, and then, if you want to do another one, I did get an order, and I don't know if it was provisionally appointing you all, or, yeah, all right.
Judge, did my colleague, Ms. Chase, request we be provisionally appointed on Mr. Peebles?
I think so, and I'm pretty sure I signed that. Oh, she did the photo order, but she's gonna do the provisional appointment, and I'll sign that. No problem.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Solis Ruiz, can you please confirm that you can hear and understand the Spanish interpreter?
Señor Celis Ruiz, ¿puede usted por favor confirmar, escucha y entiende al intérprete de español?
Sí, señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you're charged with 1 count failure to register a motor vehicle, 1 count violation of a non-resident exemption driver's license, and 1 count false identification given to law enforcement.
Señor, usted se le acusa de una denuncia de no inscribir o registrar un vehículo de motor, de incumplir con la posesión de una licencia de conducir para un no residente que esté exento y una denuncia de entregar una identificación falsa a un agente del orden público.
The court does find probable cause.
El tribunal encuentra que existe causa probable.
State your recommendations.
La recomendación fiscalía.
ROR on 1, 500 each on 2 and 3, and no driving until further order of the court.
Libre bajo palabra por la primera denuncia, $500 de fianza por la segunda denuncia, 500 por la tercera, y una orden para que no conduzca un vehículo de motor durante la pendencia de este caso.
Defense?
One moment, please, Judge.
Defensa, un momento.
Judge, he believes his mother is going to be able to post that bond.
All right, so
Señoría, él entiende que que la madre va a poder pagar esa fianza.
at this time, it'll be an ROR on count 1, 500 on each 2 and 3.
Bien, en estos momentos será libre bajo palabra por la primera denuncia, $500 por cada una, la 2 y la 3.
And I'm also ordering no driving until further order of the court.
También ordeno que no conduzca un vehículo de motor hasta que el tribunal disponga lo contrario.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
No one else that may require a Spanish interpreter.
All right, Ms. Chase, anybody else? No, all right, thank you. You could be excused, sir. And then, Mr. Romero, can we take one out of order on page 24?
24, who's that gentleman, Judge?
Mr. Albacete, Alexander Albacete.
Albacete? He's Judge.
All right, and state, I had a question on this.
Yes, Your Honor.
I didn't see any field test positive. I understand the canines alerted, but
As far as the
meth and then the gamma high.
Your Honor, on the, I'll ask for 24 hours on the methamphetamine,
Okay.
but on the GHB, Your Honor, I believe that they can rely upon his admission.
Hold on one second. Let me just review that. Yeah, it is a post Miranda confession. Okay, all right, then.
Yeah,
I'll go forward with PC then.
I'm sorry,
If it's a post Miranda confession,
Your Honor, if it's okay, and I appreciate that, I'm only asking for the GHB. I think because of the seriousness of the methamphetamine, I feel more comfortable with an actual field test.
All right.
I appreciate that.
yeah, no, that's fine. Let's,
Since it's the first degree felony.
so let's do a 24-hour cure on this.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Albacete, we're gonna reset this for 24 hours. I do see some deficiencies with the probable cause affidavit that I reviewed. So we'll give the state 24 hours to see if they can rectify that. If they can't, well, then we'll deal with that tomorrow. But otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow in the AM docket. All right. All right, page 7, I think we're at Mr. Clark.
Mr. Clark, come on up. He's approaching, Judge.
And sorry, I think I referenced a K9 search. I don't think that was the one with the K9 search, the last one. But there's one with a K9 search I reviewed this morning. All right, so at some point they start blending together.
No, that's understandable.
So, all right, Mr. Clark, good morning, sir. You're charged with 1 count aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. The court does find probable cause. State.
Your Honor, recommending a $10,000 bond, pretrial release with a GPS monitor, level 2, no victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Your Honor, the reason I'm requesting this bond and the GPS monitor is not just the level of violence, but I do have concerns about Mr. Clark's mental health condition. Based on the allegations in the case. Also, I see just last year, he had a case dismissed on competency grounds. He's had a 2011 battery in violation of domestic violence injunction that was dismissed on competency grounds. Multiple other priors of Matt Leo in the mid-90s. Also, Your Honor, I do have some concerns about his future appearance in court, noting that the arresting deputy was able to speak with Mr. Clark over the phone, but he refused to cooperate or come back to the scene or surrender after being advised of what was going on.
All right, defense.
Judge, Mr. Clark's been residing in our community his whole entire life. He does not work. He gets disability. He advised me no one can pay his monetary bond. He's requesting non-monetary release conditions. I'm requesting a mental health screening order on Mr. Clark's behalf.
All right, Mr. Clark, your bond will be $10,000. If you do bond out, you'll be on pretrial with a GPS level 2. I'm ordering no return, no victim contact, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition, and I am granting the request for the mental health screening. Good luck to you, Mr. Clark. Mr. Andre, page 8.
It's approaching Judge Maine.
Mr. Andre, good morning, sir. You're charged with 1 count aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. The court does find probable cause. State.
Your Honor, I'm recommending a $25,000 bond. Should he post bond pretrial release with a GPS monitor, level 2, no victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Your Honor, it's based on the allegation that he forced his way into the bathroom while the victim was in there. By his own admission, he threatened the victim with a firearm. Your Honor, I can advise the court he had an arrest in 2022 for lewd and lascivious conduct with the victim under the age of 16. The case was dropped in 2023.
All right, defense.
Judge, I spoke with Mr. Andre. He did advise me, I believe the state confirmed he has a clean record. My understanding, he's been residing here his whole entire life. He is employed. He works at Denny's, been there for 3 years as a server. He gets about $9.98 an hour plus tip, Judge. Now, my understanding, and speaking to him, he's going to try and reach out to a family member to see if they can help post his monetary bond. At most, they can probably afford somewhere around $6,000, $7,000 bond. That is what we're requesting on Mr. Andre's behalf, Judge.
All right, given the seriousness of the allegations, bond will be $25,000 at this time. No victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. If and when he does bond out, he'll be on a GPS level 2. Good luck to you, Mr. Andre. Page 9, Mr. Smith.
Judge, pursuant to my conversation, I'm waiving his appearance.
All right, court does find probable cause. It's a no bond hold, which will remain in place. Page 9, Mr. Ramos.
Judge, pursuant to my conversation, I'm waiving his appearance.
Court does find probable cause. It's a no bond hold, immigration, which will remain in place. Page 10, we have Mr. Johnson.
Please approach Judge Maine.
Mr. Johnson, good morning, sir. You have a traffic capias for operating without a valid license. The court does find probable cause. State.
Your Honor, if he wishes to resolve the offers in adjudication and time served.
Judge, after speaking to Mr. Johnson earlier today, that's exactly what he wishes to do in exchange for his no contest plea, except the state's offer of time served.
Mr. Johnson, can you please raise your right hand as best as you can, sir? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You could put your hand down. Please state your full name for the record.
Corey Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you're charged with operating without a valid license. In exchange for a plea, the offer from the state to resolve your case today is an adjudication time served. You'd also have 12 months to pay your court costs. Under those terms, do you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes.
Has your attorney answered all your questions?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
Is anyone forcing, coercing, or threatening you to resolve your case?
No.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or intoxicants?
No.
Have you ever been treated for a mental or emotional illness?
No.
Sir, you have the right to require the state prove the charges against you and the right to defend the case by having a trial, calling witnesses, and taking an appeal. By taking a plea today, you're waiving those rights. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, I'm not asking if you're a U.S. citizen, but if you're not a U.S. citizen, taking a plea today will be used against you in any deportation or other immigration proceedings. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Similarly, if and only if in the past you've been previously convicted of a sexually motivated offense, this plea will be used against you in any involuntary civil commitment proceeding under the Jimmy Rice Act. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand everything we discussed here today?
Yes.
How do you wish to plead?
No contest.
Court accepts your no contest plea. I find it's knowingly, freely, and voluntarily given. I do find a factual basis for the plea based upon the review of the arrest information. Your sentence in accordance with the plea agreement is an adjudication, time served, and 12 months to pay your court costs. Good luck to you, Mr. Johnson. Eric Falk, page 10.
Judge, I spoke to Mr. Falk. Pursuant to my conversation, I'm waiving his appearance but requesting a mental health screening order.
Court does find probable cause. State anything?
Was this on there?
Falk?
No, Judge.
All right, so bond will be 2,500 on 1, 250 on 2, and I am granting the request for the mental health screening. Page 10, we have Darius Collier.
Please approach Judge Yermink.
All right, Mr. Collier, good morning. You're charged with 1 count attaching a registration license plate not assigned and resisting obstruction without violence. The court does find probable cause. State.
1 moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, recommending an ROR on both counts.
All right, Mr. Collier, I am going to release you on your own recognizance on both charges. Please check with the public defender's office. Please check with the clerk of courts to make sure whether or not you have any future court events that you need to be present at. Good luck to you, sir. Anthony Green, page 10.
He's approaching, Judge.
If I could be heard, Your Honor.
Yes.
Your Honor, asking that the court find probable cause for petty theft over $100.
All right, Mr. Green, good morning. You're charged with 1 count petty theft, second degree first offense. The state has asked the court instead to find probable cause for petty theft over $100. The court does find probable cause as amended. State your recommendation.
Recommending a $500 bond and no return. This is based on the information from the loss prevention associate that advised the arresting officer that Mr. Green goes into that Walmart and essentially steals from them on a daily basis.
All right, defense.
Judge, I know Mr. Green was hoping to resolve it. Obviously, there's no plea offer. He can't afford to postpone. He's asking if the court will consider releasing ROR at this time.
This time, the answer is no. The court's not inclined to do that. Bond will be $500 with no return. Nigel Champagne. All right. Good morning, sir. You've got 1 charge for unlawfully reproducing an identification card. You've also got a municipal ordinance KPS for lodging on city-owned property. The court does find probable cause. We'll deal with the state charge first. State.
Your Honor, recommending a $500 bond on count 1.
All right, defense.
Judge, Mr. Champagne was hoping to resolve it. There's no plea offer at this time. He's requesting the court consider releasing ROR.
Your Honor, my concern, 1, noting the nature of the charge combined with the fact that he's also here because he didn't go to court. I know he's got a prior 07 attempted robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon, 7-year state prison, 07 grand theft, 05 dealing in stolen property, 5-year state prison.
All right. Bond on count 1 will be $250. I'll hear from Ms. Carr on count 2.
Yes, Judge, on count 2, he was hoping to resolve. He'd like to enter no contest plea.
It'd be an adjudication, time served, and no return with 12 months court costs.
Yes, Judge, and the address of no return is 450 South State Road 7 in Hollywood.
All right, Mr. Champagne, my apologies if I'm mispronouncing your last name. The court would offer you an adjudication time served, no return to 450 South State Road 7 in Hollywood, and 12 months to pay your court costs. That's on the municipal ordinance violation. Do you want to take a plea with those terms?
What's the terms?
The terms would be an adjudication, time served, no return to 450 South State Road 7 in Hollywood, and 12 months to pay your court costs.
Yes.
All right, can you please raise your right hand as best as you can? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. Please state your full name for the record.
Roger Champagne.
All right, Mr. Champagne, you've been charged with a municipal ordinance violation, trespassing or lodging on city-owned property. In exchange for a plea, the offer from the court today would be an adjudication time served, no return to 450 South State Road 7 in Hollywood, and you'd also have 12 months to pay your court costs. Under those terms, do you want to resolve your municipal ordinance violation? I'm sorry, could you state that again?
I'm not sure what it is. But to resolve it, I'm saying to resolve it. Please, to resolve it.
Yeah, so the court has offered you an adjudication, time served, no return to 450 South State Road 7 in Hollywood. You'd also have 12 months to pay your court costs. Under those terms, do you want to resolve your municipal ordinance violation?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Has your attorney answered all of your questions?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
Is anyone forcing, coercing, or threatening you to resolve your case?
No.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or intoxicants?
No.
Have you ever been treated for a mental or emotional illness?
Yes.
Is there anything about that condition or the subsequent treatment that affects your ability to enter into this plea today? I'm sorry, would you repeat that? I just didn't hear you.
No.
All right. Sir, you have the right to require the state prove the charges against you, the right to defend the case by having a trial, calling witnesses, and taking an appeal. By taking a plea today, you're waiving those rights. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Sir, I'm not asking if you're a U.S. citizen, but I'm required to let you know that if you're not a U.S. citizen, taking a plea today will be used against you in any deportation or other immigration proceedings. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Similarly, if and only if in the past you've been previously convicted of a sexually motivated offense, this plea will be used against you in any involuntary civil commitment proceeding under the Jimmy Rice Act. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Mr. Champagne, do you understand everything we've discussed here today?
Yes.
You could plead guilty, which means you're admitting the charge, or you could plead no contest, which means you're not admitting the charge. It's really just a plea of convenience. How do you wish to plead?
No contest.
The court accepts your no contest plea. I find it is knowingly, freely, and voluntarily given. I do find a factual basis for the plea based upon the review of the arrest paperwork. Your sentence in accordance with the plea agreement is an adjudication time served, no return to 450 South State Road 7 in Hollywood, and 12 months to pay your court costs. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Croft. All right, page 11, we have Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, come on, please.
Your Honor, if I could
Approaching
be
judge.
heard.
This is under 100.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson, good morning, sir. You're charged with one count petty theft, first degree, property greater than $100 but less than $750. The state has asked instead for the court to find probable cause for petty theft under $100. The court does find probable cause. State?
Your Honor, considering the circumstances, I'm recommending, and I think it's fair, a $50 bond. No victim contact, no return, Your Honor, but, it is concerning. He just goes into a restaurant, orders, knowing he has no food, and basically just rips off the business owner. And essentially, there's waiters, waitresses, and they're not getting any tips on that.
All right, defense?
Judge, I understand, and I did advise most likely because there's probably outstanding restitution that there wouldn't be a plea offer today, but unfortunately, as owner posted Bonnie is homeless. He advised me he's currently looking for work. He advised me he has prior contact with the criminal justice system, but it's been over 10 years. He's asking if the court would consider releasing him ROR today.
All right, unfortunately, the court will not do that. Bond will be $50. I'm ordering no victim contact and no return. Good luck, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Mondestein?
Judge, I've been advised he bonded. Go for it.
Page 12, Mr. Pagan?
Judge, did you call for Mr. Edgardo Pagan?
Pagan, yes.
Mr. Pagan, come on. He's approaching, Judge.
Good morning, sir. You have a traffic capias for driving with a license while the license is suspended. The court does find probable cause. State?
Your Honor, the documented offer, if he wishes to resolve, is an adjudication, 10 days Broward County Jail, based on prior DWS.
1 moment, Judge. Judge, at this time, respectfully, Mr. Pagan is not accepting the state's offer. I did advise him that he's scheduled to see his assigned judge tomorrow at 8:30, so nothing else from the defense at this time.
All right, so State, are you recommending the bond be left in place?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so the bond will be $1,500. Good luck to you, Mr. Pagan. Page 13, we have Mr. Estrada.
Mr. Estrada is approaching. Come on up, sir.
Mr. Estrada, good morning, sir. You're charged with 1 count burglary of an occupied dwelling unarmed, 1 count petty theft first degree, property greater than 100 but less than $750. The court does find probable cause. State.
Recommending a $3,500 bond on 7, 500 on 8, and a no return to the incident location.
Defense.
Sure. Mr. Estrada is homeless. I believe he's been already here for a week. He can't afford to post anything. I'm just asking you to take that into account, determine a reasonable monetary bond on count 7 and 8.
All right. As to count 7, bond will be $2,500. As to count 8, bond will be $250. I'm also ordering no return. Good luck, Mr. Estrada. Page 13, Mr. Gonzalez.
Judge, pursuant to my conversation, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm waiving his appearance.
All right, the court does find probable cause. State.
Recommending $2,500 on 6 and no victim contact.
All right.
That's based on the fact that he advised me has no bond holds and nothing from the defense at this time.
All right, so bond will be $2,500 with no victim contact. Page 13, I think this is Mr. Ortega.
Mr. Ortega Catalan, Judge, pursuant to my conversation, reference to count 2, I'm waiving his appearance.
The court does find probable cause. It's a no bond immigration hold, which will remain in place. Page 14, we have Mr. Vincent.
Judge, pursuant to my conversation, I'm waiving his appearance.
The court does find probable cause. State, anything on 3?
No, Judge.
So it'll be no bond holds on 1, 2, 3 will be $250 for Mr. Vincent. Page 14, we have Mr. Vargas.
Judge, I've been advised he's a refusal.
The court does find probable cause. State as to 1.
Yes, and no return, no victim contact, and no bond.
All right, so as to 1, I am going to hold him no bond, no return, no victim contact. As to 2, he's got an out-of-county hold, which is no bond. Mr. Romero, you want me to provisionally appoint your office on this?
Yes, Judge.
All right. All right, page 15, we have Mr. Cox.
Mr. Cox?
We didn't. It was attached to the paperwork. I'll call him next. All right, we have Mr. Cox.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Cox, good morning. You're charged with possession of a weapon or ammunition by a convicted Florida felon. The court does find probable cause. State.
Recommending $5,000 bond, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
Defense.
That's just what Mr. Cox, he's a security guard, just got that job 3 months ago, making only about $14 an hour. My understanding in speaking to him, Judge, I believe this is a constructive possession case. It wasn't found on him. I believe it was in a vehicle in which he was a passenger. He got a ride. Based on that, we're going to be asking the court to consider setting a $2,500 bond on Mr. Cox's behalf.
Not as though. It wasn't as though it was in the middle console between the driver and the passenger. Why would the driver, if the driver has a gun, keep the gun behind the rear passenger, behind the front passenger? That would be the most common sense place to reach for the gun. Your Honor, I'd argue it's more likely he was on the passenger side and a split back there. I'm just saying it's a constructive possession. There's no argument about that. But when you're dealing with where that goes down, when you have someone in the driver's seat and someone in the passenger seat, I think, common sense would dictate that it's certainly more likely, connected to one person. And I know Mr. Mayor can make all the cases you want, but, it's for bond purposes, the court can take into consideration the facts. In this case, it wasn't found within reach of both of them.
All right, at this time, bond will be $2,500. I'm ordering no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Good luck to you, Mr. Cox. And then, Mr. Edwards on page 14, who, his paper.
He is approaching.
All right, sorry about that, Mr. Edwards. Sir, you're charged with 1 count possession, receipt, retain, stolen credit, debit card information. The court does find probable cause. State,
Recommending $1,000 bond and no victim contact.
defense.
No objection.
Bond will be $1,000 with no victim contact. Good luck to you, Mr. Edwards. Page 15, we have Mr. Bacon.
Judge, I've been advised he is a refusal.
The court does find probable cause. State as to 1.
Recommending $20,000 bond as to 1 and no victim contact and no return.
Bond will be $20,000 as to 1, no victim contact, no return, no bond holds on 2 and 3. All right, page 16, Mr. Dorstill and State. I had some questions on this one.
Mr. Dorso, come on up, please. Stand up here. Kevin?
So for 1 through 3, it just seems to me they're conclusory.
We'll ask for 24 hours on 1 through 3, Your Honor.
All right, 24-hour perfection. All right, so Mr. Dorstill, I'm going to give the state 24 hours to perfect the probable cause affidavit. So we'll see you back here tomorrow morning, bright and early. Page 17, Timothy Walton.
Mr. Walton, I've been advised is a refusal, Judge.
Court does find probable cause. State as to 1.
Recommending $5,000 bond, no return, and no victim contact.
Bond will be $5,000 on 1, no return, no victim contact, no bond hold on 2. Page 17, we have Mr. Bazile.
Your Honor, if I can be heard?
Yes.
Judge, interview Mr. Bazile and waiving his appearance.
How one should be no problem.
All right, so count 1 will be no PC or count 2. There will be PC, which is a no bond hold. All right. Page 18, we have Mr. White.
Mr. White, come on up, please. Approaching Judge May.
Mr. White, good morning, sir. You're charged with 1 count burglary, unoccupied structure, unarmed, 1 count grand theft between $750 and $5,000. The court does find probable cause. State.
Recommending $2,500 bond on 1, asking that the bond. A $2,500 bond remain in place on count 2 and then no return to the incident location.
All right. Defense.
Judge, unfortunately, Mr. White did advise me he's not working. He's currently looking for employment. When I asked if there's anyone I can contact for him to pay his fine, he advised me he has nobody to post his monetary bond. I'm asking you to take that into consideration, determining a reasonable monetary bond. I'm also requesting a mental health screening order, Mr. White's behalf.
Any history, State?
Yes, he has an active petty theft case filed in 2025.
And he also has a single one on pollution training.
Your Honor,
Yes.
can I just check one other thing?
Yes. All right, well, while they're checking into that, as far as the non-monetary, no return and the mental health screening is granted. State.
Frankly, Your Honor, upon further review, I think Mr. Bryson's recommendations are very fair. He was arrested March 12th for two petty thefts and a capias for failing to appear on the other petty theft that's pending for this year. He's out on bond on all three of those charges.
All right, so it'll be $2,500 on counts 1 and 2 as well. Good luck to you, Mr. White. Page 18, we have Mr. Edie.
Judge, I've been advised Mr. Edie is a refusal.
Court does find probable cause. State.
Recommending a $7,500 bond, no return and no victim contact.
$7,500, no return, no victim contact. Mr. Perry, page 19.
Mr. Perry, come on up, please. Please approach.
Mr. Perry, good morning, sir. You're charged with 1 count possession of a weapon or ammunition by a Florida convicted felon. The court does find probable cause. State.
Recommending a $5,000 bond, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
Defense.
Judge, Mr. Perry's been residing here his whole entire life. He works part-time for a concrete business. He resides here locally in Fort Lauderdale with his aunt just moved in. He's requesting for releasing payment and things on.
All right, bond will be $5,000. No firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Good luck, Mr. Perry.
Okay.
Page 20.
I've been advised Mr. Narain is a refusal, Judge.
Court does find probable cause. State.
Recommending a $2,500 bond on 1, 500 remain in place on count 2.
And no return.
Yes, Judge.
2,500 on 1, 500 on 2 with no return. Page 20, Mr. Obregon.
Judge, I've been advised he is a refusal.
Court does find probable cause. State.
A $5,000 bond on 1, 500 on 2, no firearms, weapons, ammunition, and a no return. Judge.
Bond will be 5,000 on 1, 500 on 2, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition, no return. Page 21, Mr. Abraham.
Judge, I've been advised he is a refusal.
Court does find probable cause. State on 1 and 2.
Your Honor, recommending a $1,000 bond on 1, 5,000 on 2. Your Honor, I just want the court to be aware because it doesn't show this on the paperwork. The case he's on probation for locally is for felony DUI and DWS permanent revocation.
All right, so it'll be, and then I'm going to put no driving as well.
Yeah, I actually had that thing.
So it'll be 1,000 on 1, 5,000 on 2, no driving for Mr. Abraham. Page 21, Mr. Vagan.
Mr. No, come on up, sir.
Or
He's here.
is it Vaughn or my apologies for mispronouncing. And State, I did have a question on this one between 1 and 2, and we kind of dealt with a similar incident, I think, yesterday. Yes.
No, this is no, Your Honor. I mean, so the officer could have been a little more clear.
Okay.
The gram theft is from the March 20th incident.
Okay, got it.
Petty theft happened yesterday on the 25th.
Okay, all right, because I didn't see a date for the
Yeah, I read the first time, I was wait, and I read it again.
and then I figured if you just add the two together, then it would fall, but they're two separate incidents.
I know where the officer's going. He should have made it very clear that this occurred on 2 separate days.
Okay, all right, gotcha. All right, sir, you're charged with 1 count grand theft with a value between $750 and $5,000, 1 count petty theft value between $100 and $750, and 1 count possession of cocaine. The court does find probable cause. State.
Recommending a $5,000 bond on 1, 500 on 2, 1,000 on 3, and a no return to the incident location.
Defense.
Judge, Mr. Vaughn is 65 years old, been here his whole life. He does not work. He's homeless. We're asking the court to impose the lowest reasonable bond.
All right, as to count one, bond will be $3,500. As to count two, it'll be 500, three, 1,000, and no return. Good luck, sir. Page 21, Mr. Gersley.
Pursuant to my conversation, I'm waiving his appearance, Judge.
Court does find probable cause, state 1,000 as to one,
Yes, Judge.
and no bond as to two. Anything from defense on this?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. Page 22, we have Willie Barnell or Barnwell.
I've been advised he is a refusal, Judge.
Court does find probable cause, state.
Recommending a $20,000 bond, no return, and no victim contact.
Bond will be $20,000, no return, no victim contact. Page 22, we have Mr. Norville.
Judge, I've been advised he is a refusal.
Court does find probable cause, state.
Recommending a $2,500 bond and a no return.
Bond will be $2,500 and an order of no return. Page 22, Mr. Lazaro Montero Ramos.
Judge, pursuant to my conversation, I'm waiving his appearance.
The court does find probable cause, state as to one.
1 moment, Your Honor.
Yep. Yes.
Your Honor, I'm just recommending an ROR on count one so we can go on to Dade County.
All right, so it'll be an ROR on one. He's got the no bond hold on two. Page 22, we have Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns is approaching, Judge.
All right, Mr. Burns, good morning. You're charged with one count grand theft auto. The court does find probable cause, state.
Recommending a $5,000 bond and no victim contact.
Defense.
Judge, I spoke with Mr. Burns. He's been here his whole entire life. He works in landscaping. His mom can help post his bond. We're requesting a $2,500 bond on his behalf.
Bond will be $3,500 and no victim contact for Mr. Burns. Good luck to you, sir. Page 23, Mr. Evans.
Mr. Evans is approaching, Judge.
All right, Mr. Evans, you're charged with one count possession of PVP, state 1,000.
Yes, Judge.
All right, defense.
Judge, my understanding is being Mr. Evans, he is homeless, he has no one to pay his bond, he's asking for a straight ROR.
State, any history?
Right? Well, not only that, I'm showing he had a mental health involuntary placement matter in February of this year.
All right, bond will be $1,000. Good luck, Mr. Evans. Page 23.
Judge, based on that statement, I'm going to be requesting also mental health screening work.
Granted. All right, page 23, Mr. Scott.
Mr. Scott is approaching, Judge.
All right, Mr. Scott, good morning. You're charged with one count possession of cocaine, one count possession of fentanyl. The court does find probable cause, state.
Recommending a $1,000 bond on one and two.
Defense.
No objection, Judge.
It'll be 1,000 on one and 1,000 on two. Good luck to you, Mr. Scott. Page 24, we have Mr. Gillio.
Judge, I've been advised he is a refusal.
Court does find probable cause, state.
Recommend this on Villia.
Yes.
5,000 on one, 1,000 on two, ROR on three, no victim contact, no return.
Bond will be a 5,000 on one, 1,000 on two, ROR on three, no victim contact, no return. Mr. Thompson.
Bonded.
Oh, he bonded?
His bond been open.
Page 26, Mr. Cooks.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Cooks, come on up, please. Approaching, Judge.
All right, Mr. Cooks, good morning. You're charged with one count criminal mischief, under $200, first offense, one count tampering with intent to hinder, delay, et cetera, communication to law enforcement. The court does find probable cause. State.
Your Honor, recommending $1,000 bond on one, 1,500 on two, no victim contact, no return. Your Honor, I would ask the court to take into consideration, just a note for the record. And I'm only bringing this up because the victim, if you want me to wait, Your Honor, I see
We're back on.
okay.
Yeah.
The victim made specific reference to, past violent actions. He was arrested in 2024 for aggravated battery, pregnant victim, and domestic violence battery by strangulation against the same alleged victim that was dropped. Again, arrested last year for aggravated battery, pregnant victim against the same alleged victim that was dropped as well.
All right, defense.
No, Judge.
1,000 on one, 1,500 on two, no victim contact, no return. Good luck, Mr. Cooks. Page 27, Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Cooper, come on up, please. Please approach the judge.
Mr. Cooper, good morning. You're charged with one count aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. You've also got some out-of-county holds, which are not for this court. The court does find probable cause. State.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm recommending a $15,000 bond. Should he post bond, pre-trial release with a DPS monitor level 2, no victim contact, no return.
15,000.
15,000. No he doesn't like it. No firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Your Honor, it's based on the allegations in this case, and I will note the strength of the evidence. One thing I would specifically note is that the victim, despite Mr. Cooper saying he never brandished the knife, the victim was able to perfectly describe the knife that was actually located in the vehicle Mr. Cooper was in. Additionally, Your Honor, I would note the pending felonies out of county. Lastly, Your Honor, I would note he has, let's see. He's got a federal prior offense, and that is for a weapons offense. He got 5 years supervised release federally, showing in this, well, if you can confirm this, I'm showing an arrest in New Jersey in 2024, theft by unlawful taking, identity theft, trafficking personal identification information, credit card fraud. There is no disposition leading me to believe that those charges are still pending. Out of the state of Georgia, theft of property, 2014, receipt, possession, or transport of a firearm by convicted felon.
All right, let me hear from the defense.
Judge, first off, from what Mr. Cooper is advising, all the ones that the state advised you that there was no disposition, he advised me those cases were dismissed. So at this time, we're asking for the court not to take those into account. And as being Mr. Cooper has been residing here for the past 4 years, he does freelance photography, Judge. He only gets paid about $500 a week. He can't afford to post the type of bond that the state is asking, Judge. It's requesting a $500 bond, and I'm also requesting a medical screening order on Mr. Cooper's behalf.
Bond would be $10,000. Medical screenings granted if and when he does bond out. Pretrial release with a GPS level 2. No victim contact, no return, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Good luck to you, Mr. Cooper. All right, Wayne Powell, page 28.
Reset.
Page 29, we have Mr. Chisholm. All right, Conti, do we have Mr. Chisholm? Deputy at Conti? Man, it's an out-of-county hold. All right, you want to call over there?
I don't know, but he has, bachelor's degree.
Mr. Romero, do you have anybody left with you at Maine? No?
No, Judge, I was just gonna ask for one thing, because the deputy let me know one of the, one of my clients told me I forgot to request a phone order, so I was gonna, ask if the court would sign a phone order for Mr. Alberto Feebles on page 30.
Sure. All right, so Mr. Romero, then we'll see you at 1, and then we'll go to the northern jails on the remainder. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
We're just gonna see Mr. Romero at 1.
Get out of his school.
Do you have any more for me? The last one, Mr. Nordel, is that Paul Ryan?
Paul Ryan?
We wanna check them while I'm calling something.
All right. Paul Ryan, we have Mr. Nordelis. All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Judge.
You've got a change of charge. You're just being charged with battery on a law enforcement officer for count 4 now. The court does find probable cause. State.
Your Honor, this was downfiled from an aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer. There should have always been battery on a law enforcement officer. He allegedly spit in the officer's face. He was being held no bond. I'm requesting a $5,000 bond. Your Honor, this case has been transferred to career criminal court before Judge Bober. He's also being held no bond on a separate aggravated battery against a victim over 65, where he allegedly struck the elderly victim in the head with a brick.
All right. And just 1 second, sir. I'll wait so we can hear from the defense. All right, Miss Chase. 5,000 was the recommendation.
There was no bond. He's being held no bond on an aggravated battery and prejudice for the rock there.
Yeah. I was on the phone with County, that's why
Sure.
they're pulling the last 2.
All right, what say you on Mr. Nordelis?
Judge, I have
Okay.
no bond hold.
All right, so it was a no bond.
I guess I'm being told it was ROR. Even still, Your Honor, I'm asking that the court, frankly, though it was downfiled, I don't know why he was ROR.
Who ROR'd him?
It was Judge Murphy over the weekend, but frankly, if I could have 1 moment, Your Honor.
Well, the weekend was Judge.
No, not this past week.
The weekend prior.
I just meant that it was a weekend case. Your Honor.
No, I was just clarifying.
No, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Your Honor, just so the court's aware, his history, and this is the reason he's in, for criminal court. 2018, battery on a law enforcement officer, 60 months state prison as a habitual offender. 2017, battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting violence, 60 months state prison, habitual offender. 2017, aggravated battery against a victim over 65, 60 months state prison. Felony battery. Not Leo.
I got you, but if he was ROR'd on this.
He was, well, I don't know why he was ROR'd, Your Honor, but he's back before it's on a different count. I can't tell you why he was ROR'd, Your Honor, but.
All right, I mean, I'm gonna stick then with Judge Murphy's ruling on it. I mean, he's being held no bond on other charges. All right, so Mr. Nordelis, just consistent with Judge Murphy's ruling, I am gonna keep this at an ROR. You're still being held no bond, so you'll see your division judge otherwise. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and then we're going to Conti. All right.
They're on their way here.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. All right, well, let's take a 5-minute convenience break then. So we'll go into recess. We'll be back 11:10. Either of the two individuals?
I'm just asking, the original bond is 75.
You want to waive on anybody?
Waiting for them to get away and call me, which we won't do that again, so. Let me call over there.
All right.
I'm not like this, so. We were doing it good.
Oh, wait, you know what, Julie, Alexis is from Docket.
Oh, okay, so I can waive that one, for sure.
You used to be in the rain this morning on this case.
So you want to waive?
I do.
The arraignments this morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So what are you asking for on Duffy?
Your Honor, it's a technical lateral change of charge. The original bond was 7,500 and I'm asking for that to remain in place.
Plus all previous.
Julie, you got ordered in the south.
What was 7,500?
All right, so it'll be 7,500 plus all previous conditions. And then Chisholm.
I just saw it, so I'm not sure. No.
Conti, do we have Mr. Chisholm? Are you Mr. Chisholm? Just press the red triangle. And you can take your hand. Yep. Is that Mr. Chisholm?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good morning, sir. You've got an ad charge. You've got an out-of-county hold from Palm Beach County for grand theft. It's a no bond hold for which the court does find probable cause for. The jail will probably be contacting Palm Beach County. They may have already contacted them.
He has account one.
Oh, he has account one. All right. Sorry. So, all right, once count one is resolved, whatever that may be, then the jail will contact Palm Beach County for transport. All right, Mr. Chisholm?
Oh, okay.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Wait.
Thank you. All right, so that's all I got. Does anybody have anything else? I'm sorry, Deputy, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry. Mr. Alexis is not here.
Yeah, we took care of it as a waiver.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so anybody else have anything? All right, so then 1 o'clock will be in recess until 1.
Mr. Barry,